Little prophets that an idle king by this still earth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife I met and old, unequal laws into a savage race that whore and sleep and feed and that whore and sleep and feed and knows not me. I cannot rest from travel. I will drink life to the lees. All times I have enjoyed greatly, I've suffered greatly, both with those that love me and alone, unsure and when. Through scudding drifts, the rainy 80s vex the dim sea. I am become a name. I am become a name for always roaming with a hungry heart. Much have I seen and known, cities of men and manners, climates, councils, governments, myself not least but honored of them all. And drunk delight of battle with my peers, far on the ringy plains of windy Troy. I am a part of all that I have met, yet all experience is an arch where through gleams that untraveled world whose margin fades forever and forever when I move. It little profits that an idle king by this still earth among these barren crags, matched with an aged wife I met and told, unequal as unto a savage race that whore and sleep and feed and know not me. How dull is it to pause, to make an end, to rest unburnished, not to shine and use, as though to breathe were life. Life piled on life were all too little, and of one to me little remains, but every hour safe from that eternal silence, something more, a bringer of new things and violet words. For some 3 sons to store and hoard myself, and this great spirit yearning in desire to follow knowledge like a sinking star beyond the utmost bound of human thought, human thought. I am become a name. This is my son, mine own Telemachus, whom I leave the scepter and the isle. Well loved of me, discerning to fulfill this labor by slow prudence, to make my old rugged people and their soft degrees subdue them to the useful and the good. Most blameless is he, centered in the sphere of common duties, decent not to fail in offices of tenderness, and pay meet adoration to my household gods. When I'm gone, he works his work on mine. He works works his work, I'm mine. I'm mine. There lies the port, the vessel puffs her sail. There gloom the dark broad seas, my mariners, souls that have toiled and run, and thought with me that ever with a frolic welcome took the thunder and the sunshine and opposed free hearts, free foreheads. You and I are old. Old age hath yet his honor and his toil. It little profits that an idle king, it little profits that an idle king by the still earth along these barren crags, meshed with an age wide from mid and old, unequal laws unto a savage race that hold and sleep and feed and know not me, that hold and sleep and feed and know not me. Death closes all but something near the end. Some work of noble note may yet be done, not unbecoming men that strove with gods. The lights begin to twinkle from the rocks. The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs the deep moons round with many voices. Come, my friends, 'tis not too late to seek a newer world. Push off and sitting well in order, smite the sounding furrows, for my purpose holds to sail beyond the sunset and the best of all the western stars until I die. It may be that the gulfs will wash us down. It may be we shall touch the happy isles and see the great Achilles whom we knew. Though much is taken, much abides, and though we are not now that strength which in old days moved earth and heaven, that which we are one equal temper of heroic hearts, made weak by time and fate, but strong in will, to strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield.
Ulysses by Alfred Lord Tennyson.
The speaker in this poem is Ulysses, who is also known as Odysseus. Odysseus was a great Greek hero in the Trojan War and a famous mariner who went on many adventures. He is featured in Homer's epic poem, The Odyssey.
At first, the poem dives into Odysseus' mind as he dreads his homecoming, later on musing to himself about his son and his future as king. The final stanza speaks to his fellow men who worked with him on his ship.
The poem's setting is based on 1220 BC. Odysseus is most likely speaking from home, the Greek island of Ithaca. Though in the poem, no setting is specifically mentioned. From the context, we can assume that this takes place in the era of Greek mythology and heroes.
So here's the situation.
Ooh.
Not that situation. Odysseus feels as if there's no point in staying at home. It is monotonous compared to his earlier life, brimming with adventure and traveling with heroic men. The Trojan War is even mentioned. Ithaca has become boring to the old king, who is accustomed to a life full of excitement.
Once upon a time, puppy Odysseus fought in the puppy Trojan War. Then hecka puppies died, and they didn't fight anymore. He sailed his puppy ship, but couldn't find his happy puppy home. His pretty puppy wife was waiting all alone. He tricked the puppy cops, and his buddies were turned into puppy pigs. He sailed around the sea and escaped a puppy witch. But then he made it home, and he snuggled with his puppy wife once more. And that's the tale of Puppy Odysseus. I hope you like the story.
The poem serves as a metaphor for Tennyson's own struggles with death. The theme is accepting change and moving on from a different lifestyle, settling into another way of life. Tennyson was grieving the death of a close college friend when he wrote the poem. The grieving poet struggles with trying to move on and accept death. And Ulysses' journey's end symbolize the end of Tennyson's friend as well as the attitude of the poet towards his loss. The tone of the poem is reminiscent, a little mourning, melancholy, and it's referred to by the syntax in the diction. Most of the poem is a reflection on Ulysses' life. He's thinking to himself, and his train of thought expresses how he feels about being home in Ithaca. He is going to leave his son, the scepter, and the isle, which refers to his kingdom and the island he rules over. The syntax. The long day wanes, the slow moon climbs, the deep moans round with many voices. This passage is filled with repetition of adjectives. All times I have enjoyed greatly, have suffered greatly. Uses the repetition of the word greatly for emphasis. To strive, to seek, to find, and not to yield is the repetition of the word to. Basically, he will not give up, and he will forever look for something more in life.
That explains everything.
Diction.
To make an end, to rust unburnished, not to shine and use. Tennyson uses this language to bring image of himself as a useful tool that sits unused and wasted. To follow knowledge like a sinking star. The powerful imagery implies that Odysseus is like a shining star that has lost its light. An idle king by the still earth among these barren crags. The dull imagery implies that Odysseus' homeland has become barren and lifeless. Not to me. What? For always roaming with a hungry heart. The poem mentions heart a lot, summarizes how he feels here, always wanting more than what he has in Ithaca. Death closes all. The dramatic wording depicts that death will take away all chances to do noble or heroic things. You have to do them before you die.
Mishka, I love you. I love you.
Imagery. There gloom the dark broad seas.
Compared to the boring land, the seas are dark and mysterious, broad with adventure.
This gray spirit yearning in desire.
The spirit has turned gray, darker, like the sea.
Gleams the untraveled whose margin fades.
The world gleams becomingly to the hero, its margins fade which leave adventure boundless. The poem makes mention of heart. Odysseus says he wants to have a free heart and to go on adventures. He also says that his heart is hungry. The poem alludes to Achilles of the Trojan War. He fought alongside Odysseus and is mentioned in another of Homer's tale. It lived till profits that an idle king by this still earth among these barren crags. Our poem is in iambic pentameter, and it is a dramatic monologue.